Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's discussion on the revenue marketing, bridging the gap between marketing and revenue generation. Today, we have a very special guest joining us by the fireside. We are honored to have Neha Lobo, Digital Sales Development Leader for APAC and Japan at IBM. Neha brings a wealth of experience and expertise in the term of digital sales and marketing. In this episode, we will be exploring the fascinating realm of revenue marketing, a strategic approach that aligns marketing initiatives directly with revenue goals. Neha will share her insights on the marketing and revenue generation, leveraging digital channels and innovative strategies. As a leader, Neha has first-hand experience in driving revenue growth through the integrated marketing efforts. She understands the challenges and opportunities that arise in aligning marketing activities and revenue objectives. I'm excited to welcome you all to this fireside chat as we gain a valuable perspective from Neha Lobo, exploring the strategies and mindset required to implement revenue marketing successfully. We'll delve into the key principles of revenue marketing, discuss real world examples of its impact, and uncover practical steps to bridge the gap between the market and revenue generation. So grab a seat, sit back, and get ready for the enlightening discussion on revenue marketing, bridging the gap between marketing and revenue generation featuring Neha. Hi Neha, we welcome you onto the show.
Thank you, Naveen. Excited to be here. And that was quite an intro. Thank you so much. You've been generous.
Oh, thank you very much, Neha. And there are a lot of questions in our mind, in our audience's mind. So we will start with the question like, what is revenue marketing and how does it differ from traditional marketing approaches? Can you elaborate on the key principles and concepts that define revenue marketing as a strategic framework?
So, Naveen, revenue marketing as a concept has been around, I think, close to about 2 decades. Okay. So, people go and Google, they might find a lot of content on revenue marketing. So what I would like to do today is to talk very personal, up close, what has happened during this journey to me and my team. And now in the current job profile where I lead the digital sales development for IBM, I'm sitting on the sales side of things and looking at marketing because of all the experience of marketing I've had. I'd like to share those experiences. So when you ask me what is revenue marketing and how does it differ from traditional marketing or what are the key principles, I think as a marketer, we always looked at the funnel of the pyramid, which will remind you awareness, consideration, and decision making, right? That's what we all strive for. How do we create awareness? How do we increase our consideration amongst our customers? And then how do we influence them to choose us versus others, right? Our products. Now, that remains intact. But the nuances of how we approach this has changed. The center of all discussions become what are we actually moving the needle or what is that we're trying to do as business revenue and the impact to business. So when we start from there, and earlier days, I think the discussion used to be what will a marketer do and what will a seller do? And it was always sales versus marketing kind of a thing. I think we have come a long way there. If you put your hat as a revenue marketer, then there is no two teams. There is only one team for the organization. So it will be sales and marketing together. And both of them trying to do their best to make the business revenue impact, right? Create business revenue impact. So, the principles would remain the same, but I think the nuances of how you look at your tactic calendar. If I look at the tactic calendar a decade back to now, maybe there are some stuff like whether we're doing account-based marketing or there's partner marketing, more of those flavors. And then you will see there's no broad-based marketing, but very focused and very narrowed, specific, deliberate efforts that the marketers are doing, right? So the tactic calendars would almost look similar, or there may be changes, but underneath that, the understanding of who do we target, why are we targeting them, how many people within an account we need to target, what is the messaging, what are the key action points we want the clients to take, how do we plant content in a way that it influences the journey. Those nuances has changed is what my experience is saying.
And thank you for such elaboration. And my second question would be revenue marketing requires a shift in the mindset and structure. How does it align marketing efforts with revenue generation, and what are the critical steps to establish this alignment within an organization?
Oh, that is a beautiful question. Actually, the make or break in this new dynamic is about, like I said, it is not marketing and sales. It is or marketing versus sales. It is marketing and sales together. So the mindset here is for a marketer to be pragmatic. We can't really stand up and say, okay, I've done my job. I've increased awareness or many responses to my event, and I have done this and that, and I'm looking green here, yellow, red, and all of that, right? But if both parties come together and look at it pragmatically to say that, okay, what is the strength of marketing? The strength of marketing is scale, right? Versus a seller. A seller has to do it 1:1 or 1 to small set of many. But marketer has the strength to go really broad, really high impact, can tell a compelling stories consistently. Now, if we play on that strength and then talk about the KPIs as to how are we contributing to the end result of business revenue, then the conversation becomes like, yeah, I know top of funnel is looking good, but if is it translating to the end of funnel goals? That's the kind of conversation. So the mindset is being transparent at every step of planning, execution, and optimization. You're closely partnering with the sales team, and then understanding how do we go together to get more from the market, right? So I think the teaming, wherever you hear that a marketer is so well connected with the sales team and they know there is a respect between both teams as to what each one of them has to bring to the table, and it is not you versus me or them versus us and things like that, you will see the discussions are elevated. There's a huge trust that they build because they've been communicating and over communicating, and they have each other's back. Now, that is the mindset. The minute you see that, Naveen, in an organization, you will see that the team is going after revenue growth.
Absolutely right. And when you talk about the teaming of different departments, it is for good, I'm sure. So collaboration between marketing and sales is crucial for successful revenue and marketing implementation. How can an organization foster this collaboration and create a shared sense of accountability for revenue growth?
Yeah. I think the first thing for me, in my experience, is both of us having the same goals to achieve. So whether it is the sales team and the marketing team, both of us are accountable for the business revenue, and we all talk about it in the same breath. And from there on, we are very transparent in sharing our plans and then asking for feedback as the plans are being executed, a closed loop feedback on what is working and what is not working, because your sales team would be the ones who would actually convert all the MQLs that the marketing team is providing, right? So it's an interesting relationship there when you ask for feedback of, hey, this event went well, you had conversations with the client at the event, what are the hot spots and what do you think we should highlight as a nurture strategy, and what do you think we should do better in our next episode of this event? Or you could even ask them that, hey, I did this and there's a lot of clients coming to our landing page and filling these forms, then they're coming to your queue. How are you seeing them interested? How is the demos going on, and how is the videos going on? Is the client testimonies working? This kind of closed loop feedback session, both the teams. I think that collaboration helps each other. And the sales team is looking at marketing team to provide really kick-ass analytics, to talk about what are the clients doing. I mean, is he searching on a landing page, and is he also going here? How many people from the same organization has come in? These kind of insights, which is not available for a seller, right? I mean, that's where the marketing teams come in. I think that collaboration, being in each other's pocket and trying to figure how to make the customer journey interesting. How do you tell the right story at the right time and not become overbearing for just following up, with the clients, but meaningful conversation. I think that collaboration is what makes it more interesting in the office.
So, in terms of skills and expertise, what are the key attributes that marketers need to develop to excel in revenue marketing? Are there any specific tools or technologies that are essential for effective implementation?
In my experience, Naveen, what I learned is, first of all, understanding your marketing technology, the tech stack, and if there is a way to integrate that with the CRM tool, which the sales is using, the information flow is really smooth and there's transparency. You can see end-to-end funnel. So that's one thing which every marketer needs to understand, the stack, the technology stack. Two, understand their own segmentation within the organization, right? So both teams are spending their time and energy in the right set of clients and in the right segment. Sometimes you find that the sales organization is going after a certain segment, and all the marketing efforts are going in a different. So when you put them together, the overlap is very small. So how do we increase that? The more you feel that the pie chart, you can see there is a section which the overlap is tighter and bigger, and then you see the impact both teams are making. So I think deep analytics, MarTech, and how the different segmentation of accounts and the buyer, and how many buyers you need to target, which are the cohorts, and those kind of nuances to understand this. Wear an analytic hat. I think the day I felt that a marketer needs to be really cool with data, understanding and making sense and picking up insights, that it makes marketer very enriching.
And I mean, trust me, you are really enlightening us with the inside thoughts, and that comes through experience only. I acknowledge that. And last but not the least, as an organization embrace revenue marketing, what are some challenges that they might face during implementation, and how can these challenges be overcome? Along with that, are there any best practices or recommendations you can share based on your experience in this field?
I think the challenges would be, firstly, visibility to what each other does. So the technology and integration of technology helps that iron out what I am seeing as a marketer as my success versus what sales is saying, and how do I share information about client touch points and the different journeys of the client and what the client has done before and after and things like that. And that piece, putting that piece together would mean the technology stack and integrating that technology stack. And that, I think, is one of the challenges marketers face: enough information to share, and how do you make it available real time to both the teams? That is one. Two is the measurements, right? The KPIs, what we drive. So what's the common KPI? And can we look it all together and say that what I'm seeing is what you're seeing in terms of the numbers and in terms of the success metrics? Do we agree on common success metrics? That is another challenge organization face. So if we iron out these two, I think we come a long way. And then the whole process of planning exercise, where we talk about what are the goals, what are the clientele, is it, how do we get new business, new logos, or how do we increase mind share within a set of account? How do we bring partners closer to the business? Those kind of conversations happen during planning. And how do we then say, what does success look like as one team? And then measure that success and share that success between the team members. I think that level, it sounds very simple and commonsensical, but putting that together could mean the organization has to support the teams, right? With the technology stack, with the availability of analytics, with the availability of data, with the availability of or being pragmatic about your KPIs and being pragmatic of running pilots and then, failing fast and learning from that and scaling. So I think those are the things which set an organization to a greater conversation on revenue marketing, I feel.
Thank you, Neha. You have really given a lot of insights on this particular topic. I'm sure a lot of questions could be there. However, I will not take much of your time and audience's time. Thank you, everyone. Catch me live in the next episode of Marketing Monday by CXOTV, while we would be discussing relevant and interesting topics like this. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, audience.
Thank you, Naveen, and the entire CXO TV team for having me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.